Hey folks, welcome back to the show. You're listening to KIDO Talk Radio, 580 AM, 107.5 FM. This is Greg Ferrera's our Real Estate Rescue, and I am blessed to be here with you. It's October, it's fall, the weather's changing, it's absolutely beautiful out there, and we have an opportunity here in what I like to call the fourth quarter, the ninth inning, pick your term. I'm having a little fun with sporting analogies. Since I've been doing this since 1995, historically, the market slows down as we get through fall and get into winter. That makes sense. It really does. However, we came through COVID, right? We blew right through the winter, and things did not slow down. It was crazy. I'll never forget that. Wow, what a time. Memories. A lot of buyers didn't have a lot of fun when they're trying to bid or not bid when homes are going up by the tens of thousands of dollars over the asking price, and a lot of buyers waiving home inspections, waiving appraisals. I mean, it was just a crazy time. So here we are in 2025 in the fall. Not quite the same market. And a lot of you know that. You're aware of that. And I'm sitting here working with a lot of folks, wanting to share with you. That's the gift that I have here, is we are real time right here in the Treasure Valley and across the country. The market is adjusting, and our interest rates are a little static right now, not moving around a bunch. We had that slight reduction last week. And as I talked with Kara Curry, right, our First Colony sponsor, First Colony Mortgage, she's our 2025 sponsor. Kara does a great job. Please, if you want some help, let her know. That's 452-6003, 208-452-6003. Kara does a great job with all of her folks. And we were talking about the media. Folks, when they talk about, the Fed's going to drop the rate 0.25 or 0.50, a lot of us think that means our interest rate on our loan is going to drop a quarter point or a half a point. And unfortunately, that's just not how this works. And I'm sorry, I don't want to be the person that's delivering bad news. Don't shoot the messenger. It doesn't work out that way. Now, a lot of times the rates can go down a percentage, but that's why we work with Kara, so she can help us. My job here is to share with you what's happening in real time. And I'm working hard to do that. Give you the stats, talk about what's happening with prices, what buyers are doing, what sellers are doing, the mindset of the seller, the mindset of the buyer, blah, 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 all those kind of things, and it gets confusing. So I wanted to go back to something. I made some notes. We've been talking about this. Greg, how come the buyers are just kind of sitting around? Well, obviously, it's those mortgage payments that they have to make that are twice as much as they might have been here not too long ago. So maybe the payment would have been $1,400, $1,500, $1,600, somewhere in there, under $2,000. Now we're seeing them up around $2,500 to $3,000. That's just a chunk of change every month. And a lot of buyers are just saying, hey, it's too much. We're going to wait. We hope the rates will go down. And then Kara's talking about opportunities where her company is doing a buy down, which allows you to breathe for a couple of years. And then she came up with that fun little term, marry the house, date the rate. I thought that's pretty cute. Date the rate, marry the house, because the rates change, the house doesn't change. So you have some fun there. But I will share with you, working with a bunch of buyers right now, and by working with, we're just navigating. A couple people are going through escrow and they're getting ready to pack, and they're really excited, but a lot more of them are just looking around for the right opportunity. They're serious. Folks, they're real buyers. They're just looking for the right opportunity, and they're being a little more picky. I was talking about this the other day. What's going on with the buyers being more picky? For years, a lot of you who've listened to the show, I have this thing about systems in homes, whether it's the roof, whether it's the windows, the HVAC, the water heaters, exterior paint, flooring, all those systems that have a 20 to 25 year life, water heater 10 to 12, but all the other systems have a life expectancy, a lifespan. And, when we're busy selling those homes in the COVID era, when a home had been around for 20 or 25 years and the systems were all at the end of their life and the buyers didn't care, that was a gift for the sellers. They weren't being asked to replace a bunch of things. They're just being asked to accept $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 more and say thank you at closing. What a gift. Pretty neat. But that's not necessarily happening today. So a buyer is being more aware. They're looking at it. And I'm telling you, I'm talking to them. They're looking, well, Greg, how old's the roof? Greg, what about the windows? Greg, the house looks like it needs painted. Well, what are we doing, Greg? The kitchen, the bathroom's outdated. They're looking at all this when they're looking at a 6 or 7% interest rate, what their payments are going to be, and how much extra money they may or might not have in their budget to purchase this new home for them. And so I've been saying, if you're a seller, you're going to have to get real today with that reality, right? Get real with the reality of the systems. And how old is our home? If our home's older, we got to start paying attention because the buyers are. Is the roof at the end of its life? You know, I've done this since 1995. I've done a lot of transactions when the appraisers come in and the inspectors look at the roofs. And, oh, it's got 3 to 5 years or 2 to 5 years. And then how much is a new roof when it's time? And what I'm watching and listening is the buyers are saying, Greg, that's an expense we're going to have to, eventually we're going to have to deal with right down the road. Well, look at how much our payment is. We'd rather not do that right now. So it's an interesting dynamic going on. So if you're a seller, and I'm talking to sellers every day, and they're saying, hey, Greg, if we reduce our price to X, where you say we need to be, we're not paying for this, that, and the other. Okay, I understand. We got spoiled, right? We got spoiled. Think back, I don't know a good analogy for this, but at any time of our lives, if we were given something and given something and given it, and we got used to it, and then all of a sudden they take it away from us, well, that doesn't feel like fun. It's like that's kind of what's happened here. You've looked at the prices. I share the stats almost every week. Wow, we were up to 800,000, way up there. Now we're into the 740s. As a list price, we're in the low 6s as a sale price. There's a message there, and the buyers are kind of saying, hey, we want a deal. Now, the reality is, most of us as sellers, if you bought your home in the last 5, 6, 7 years, maybe not the last 2 or 3, but past that, post-COVID, let's say, you have tremendous equity and a great opportunity to get moved. I go back to, what is our motivation? I say that because we're coming to the holidays, right? And holiday is always a special time, reminisce, catch up to family, or maybe no family, we're just going to hang out on our own. Maybe our own little family, our friends, it might be time. I want to be respectful of everybody because family means different things to different people. But the holidays are a special time. Take a little break from work, just take a deep breath, a little renewing time. I know sometimes I clean out the garage, maybe my shop or my office. My wife gets on me to clean things up. And because the market slows down a bit, we're not working always 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. But that's for all of us, a little rejuvenation time. But there's a handful of us who are going to be moving. And I share that if you're in that group, there's some opportunities right now. There's buyers that are, there's giving it a second thought. Should we reduce our price? There's buyers that might be willing to take an offer today that they wouldn't have taken a week ago, a month ago, 2 months ago. I know that as a fact. I can't give you any addresses, but I know that's happening. And there's some buyers that are saying, hey, we might be willing to stretch our payment right now, a couple $100 a month. I know, that's a bit much. Kara's saying that, date the rate, marry the house. Rates will change. That's true. And what's the opportunity cost for us to take a jump, to take a look at what's going on? Will a seller negotiate with us? Maybe if a heating, air conditioning unit needs to be replaced. Maybe we need to work on the roof or put a credit together. There's some creative conversations and negotiating going on right now, right here in the Valley. So don't give up. A lot of opportunity. I'm here for you, as I've always said that. No uh-ohs, no surprises. And I want to clarify that. Somebody asked me the other day, they ran at me and they said, Greg, uh-ohs aren't always bad. Well, I don't want uh-ohs during the real estate transaction. I would say surprises are okay at Christmas and a holiday for you, your birthday. Then surprises are okay. We don't want surprises in a real estate transaction because those aren't usually okay. So a little clarification, surprises on your birthday and the holiday, that's good. Christmas, those are great. Not in a real estate transaction. So folks, I'm here for you. 30 years of doing this, it's a passion. I actually do care. I don't bite. You can call me. I take your calls. 208-559-0590. As I always say, here at Greg Ferrera's, our Real Estate Rescue, we believe in old school principles, the power of the personal connection, where a handshake, a phone call, and your word still matter. Have a fantastic week. Enjoy the fall. Don't forget to join me next Saturday at 10 or Sunday at 5 for more great tips and strategies to navigate the real estate market here in the Treasure Valley. Until then, be safe out there. Enjoy our beautiful state of Idaho.
listening to Real Estate Rescue on KIDO Talk Radio, 107.5 FM and 580 AM.